For the 360 this month, we thought that we'd do something a little bit different, and we thought that we'd take you behind the scenes of our recent trip to India. Now, usually we don't do a lot of behind the scenes videos or talk about those types of things very much, but since we spent a lot of time in India this last month and kind of did a lot of interesting and different things that were new to us, we thought maybe we would take you along for the trip a little bit this time. So the reason that we went to India was to release the book Strong Woman, Reba Rockit. This is a book that I've been working on for the last, 5 years or so, and it finally came out in India. And so we went there to celebrate the release of the book and to partake in some book launch events and to get to kind of tour the publishing house, meet the editors that I've been working with over the last couple years, and promote the book. So this was a trip that took us all around India. We weren't just in one place. We started in Delhi, we went to Calcutta, we went to Mumbai, and then we also went up into the mountains, into Darjeeling. That wasn't for the book, that was just with some friends to kind of experience the mountains and get out of the city for a couple days. But we'll start at the beginning. So we started the trip in Delhi, and Delhi is the home of Om Books Publishing. This is the book publisher that I've been working with for the last couple years, and the publisher that eventually took up the project. I knew when I was working on this book years back that I wanted the book to be published in India. So the book is about Reba. She was a student of Bishnu Charan Ghosh. She was a circus performer. She was really like this popular figure in India. She was in a lot of different circus companies. And in the 1950s in particular, she was incredibly famous and well respected and well regarded. So when I was thinking about the book being published and thinking about where I wanted it to be published and how I wanted to publish it, or at least try to publish it, I decided that it was really important that her story came out in India, which was the place that she spent her life. And so I was working with people in India to try to see if it could be published there. And after a couple years of kind of back and forths, Om Books decided to take up the book, which I'm really grateful for. They're a publisher from India. They have a great kind of distribution all around the country. And so I decided that this was the perfect fit for Reba's story. So in Delhi, we went to Om Books headquarters, to the publishing house, got to meet people face to face instead of just on Zoom or just over the phone, and got to meet them face to face, and then also got to promote the books in a lot of different bookstores in Delhi. So we went all over the city, or at least it felt like going all over the city, and visiting bookstores and making signed copies available and promoting the book at little kind of bookstore events. And this was really nice because this had a really sort of local feel. Especially some of the bookstores are kind of the old style, small, packed full of books, have this really wonderful feel. And so that was fun to go to those bookstores in particular and check them out. We also went to Mumbai, and this was the first time that we'd spent any time in Mumbai. And it was really nice to kind of see this more, I guess, tropical feel. It has a really ocean vibe to the city versus some of the inland cities like Delhi. It had a really different feel. And so this was a nice kind of shift in location and a chance to see a little bit of Mumbai. We went there to go to the DAV Festival, which is a massive literature and arts and culture festival. And so I presented the book kind of in conversation with another author, Manisha Melwani, who's written a book on spiritual practice and on Vedanta. So the two of us talked about spiritual practices for youth and for kind of how to approach spiritual practices for kids and for teenagers, and those kind of trying to develop perhaps some direction in their life. This was part of the festival because this festival is largely for teachers and for families. So the audience was full of very, very lovely teachers in particular who worked in area public schools and who were at this event. They were really, really lovely and sweet, and it was really fun to meet them. We felt like so hosted and so cared for, and so I would definitely want to go back to this festival at some point if we could, because it was really lovely. And meeting some other authors from Ohm Books, but also from other publishers and journalists there was really lovely to connect. Sometimes the world feels really huge and spread out, and then sometimes it feels like on this other side of the planet, from where we live, we can meet people who are like-minded, who have common interests, and that always feels really special. I think this festival was quite funny because the kind of headline of the festival was a Bollywood film star who was coming, and so we got to sort of witness the tens of thousands of people kind of screaming for this film star who was promoting a movie. So that was kind of an interesting glimpse into the Bollywood culture and the stardom of Bollywood film culture. So it was fun to kind of see the crowd in particular. And then Calcutta is usually the highlight for us of any trip to India, just because this is the place we know best. This is where the Ghosh College is. This is where we've spent most of our time when we've traveled through India. And we've also, in the past few years, been studying Bengali, the language that they speak in Calcutta. So it's fun for us to test our Bengali and to try to communicate with people. Also, just to not have to speak in English is really, really nice. So we can converse with taxi drivers, at restaurants, at coffee shops, on the street. Our conversational Bengali is now kind of up to speed. But if anything gets really complicated, or there's a more intellectual discussion or a more detailed discussion, we get lost. We found this out really clearly when we did an event at the Canteen Art Space in Howrah. This is an incredible space that some friends of ours have developed to have a canteen which feeds people every day on the ground floor, and then up above on the higher floors are art spaces and community spaces. And so we attended and were part of the Canteen Arts Festival that they were hosting. In Calcutta, there was this sort of official launch to the book, and this was a really beautiful event. Feel so grateful and so lucky to have been a part of this event. It was hosted by the agent for the book and his company, which is called All Cap, and they put on a really beautiful book launch. And it was kind of in central Calcutta on this beautiful hotel rooftop. And there was a really kind of stimulating conversation. I felt like there were a lot of questions that people asked that were really good questions. And we could draw out some of the deeper themes of the book that are, not necessarily what the book is about, but are the underlying themes of the book. So that was really great to have that discussion and to be part of that event and to just kind of see where the project may continue to go. Who knows? I think it's not done yet. I think there's more to come in terms of other ideas that are related or kind of the next step for the project. So we'll see what it turns into. And then we got to go to North Calcutta, to Ghosh's College, and to a lot of different places in North Calcutta that are my favorite places. One in particular is my favorite bookstore. I shouldn't pick favorites, I suppose, but it's my favorite. Das Gupta Booksellers, where I've kind of gotten to be friends with one of the men that works there. And he always helps us. He can show us where any book is. He can find any book. It's a really incredible system where you just kind of walk in and you ask for whatever book or author you're looking for, and then he either knows where it is on the shelf and they have it, or he makes a call if he knows the publisher and says kind of, come back later. And then you go around the street and have a coffee or have a tea or something. And then if you come back a couple hours later, or the next day, or, you know, whenever you're going to be in that area again, he has the book waiting for you. So it's a really cool system. This bookstore has been there for over 100 years. I forget exactly what it is, but a very long time. So the trip was, I think, really great in a lot of ways. It was also a lot going to all these different cities, waiting in, you know, travel lines and big crowds of people. But it's all kind of part of the experience. So I think even the difficult moments are part of the experience, and the great moments, the easy moments, those are also good. So it's a little bit of behind the scenes of our recent trip. I hope you enjoy it. Comment if you have any questions or anything you're curious about, and we'll try to answer it. Thanks, everyone.